Hello and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Nicole and I love makeup, and today we are trying out the new The Lovers palette by Cosmic Beauty. This is just a absolutely beautiful color story. It's so pretty. I created two looks using this palette, this one and another one with the more cool tone side of the palette. I have to say I really love the theming of the palette. It is obviously inspired by the tarot card, The Lovers. You can see it on the Roman symbol for 6 on the top here, and it just is designed in this tarot card style, and I really love that. I just think this is a great Valentine's release. I really love the purple, more neutral side here. It's your classic Valentine's color story, but I really love that they added these murky greens and the blues on this side to make it a little bit more dramatic. And yeah, also the black makes it possible to do very smoky and deep looks with this palette, which I enjoy a lot. I have to say, if it just would have been the purple neutral color story, I probably wouldn't have gotten it, but especially this blue really spoke to me. I love blue eyeshadow, so of course I had to use this shade in my first look I did with this palette. So I really hope you enjoy the both looks I created with this, which I'm going to show you right now. Of course I will do more looks with this palette for YouTube Shorts and Instagram. Yeah, but now without any further ado, let's jump into the first look. So for my first look with this beautiful palette, I want to play with the blues. So I'm starting with this one right here. This one is called Partnership, and I start by blending this into my crease. As always, these Cosmic Beauty shades are so pigmented. I love them. This is my second palette from them. The Winter Wonderland was my first one and I love it so much. And now this one really spoke to me, especially because of this shade right here. This was one of the main reasons why I wanted to get it, because it's just this pretty blue with this teal hint of teal to it. I don't know. I think it's more on the blue side, but it has this little bit of green in it, which makes it really special to me. Same shade on a very flat, detailed brush, and I'm just putting this on my lower lash line. And as always, I like to bring this up to connect it to the eyeshadow on the eyelid. I also got one of these Cosmic Beauty brushes. I really wanted to try this out, and this seems to be perfect shape for me because I love a shape like this. So I'm just using this to blend the edges of this shade and to just blend it out on the lower lash line. I don't want it to be too smoked out because especially with blue it just looks like someone hit you in the face. So I need a very precise blending brush for my lower lash line. By the way, I'm not leaving this gap on purpose. I'm just applying black there later. So there's no need for me to apply shadow there, because there's going to be black eyeshadow later. This is a stunning shade. This shade is beautiful. I love it. Next, I'm using the black right here. It's called Commitment. I'm grabbing this with a very tiny brush and I'm putting this in the very outer corner of my eyelid. And then I'm taking the very small detailed blending brush I used on my lower lash line, and I just blend this black into the blue eyeshadow. These shades blend so beautifully together. This is so easy to do. The quality of these shadows is just amazing. I really should get more of their palettes because it's just very pigmented and very easy to work with at the same time. And who doesn't enjoy that? With the same brush I already used on my lower lash line, I'm just applying a tiny bit of black there. Also blend it out. To blend this look out even more, I want to use this shade. It's called Values. I'm taking it on a blending brush and I just put it on the edge of the mid-tone blue to blend this out. And I'm just putting it at the edges because I don't want this shade to touch the black, because then that it would get gray, because in the black there's black pigment. And in these pastel shades there's always a lot of white pigment in them. So if these two shades would meet, we would get a very grayish blue shade, and I don't want that. I want the gradient from black to blue to this very light pastel blue. I also use a little bit of this pastel shade on my lower lash line, and this shade I want to bring quite far into the inner part. This pastel blue is an absolutely amazing shade, and I have to say I really love this mid-tone blue, because with this pastel blue we can really get the blue pigments out of this mid-tone blue. We can make it look really blue. But, and that is what I want to do now, with this pastel green I'm using now, it's called Devoted, I think we can bring out the green pigments in that blue a little bit more. So I'm using this in the inner part. I want to wear this pastel green in my inner corner. So I'm blending the more inner part of the mid-tone blue with that Devoted shade. This is very pigmented. This is very pigmented, because we're covering up the mid-tone blue with this pastel shade. I've never experienced something like this, because normally pastels are a little bit more on the sheer side. Sometimes with some formulations these pastels are even so sheer that you have problems blending the actual deeper shades. Not with this one. Not with this one. Look at how pigmented this shade is. And I think in combination with this mid-tone teal we get this very nice turquoisey shade. I like that, I really like that. I cannot believe how amazing this looks. These matte shades are breathtakingly good. But with all the blending we did, we lost quite a lot of the mid-tone shade. So I'm going, with the first brush I used, I'm going back into the partnership shade, and where the pastel and the deeper shades meet, I'm just going to re-intensify that. I want to especially re-intensify it in the more outer part to really smoke this out. And in the inner part I want this mint shade to stand out a little bit more in the inner part, so I'm not intensifying it here a lot, just a little bit. I'm already so happy with this look. I'm so excited. The best part is it was so easy to create. It was like no work at all. I think it took me 20 minutes to get this amazing blend. I don't know what shimmer shade I should use. Like, I'm between this and this. So let's just swatch these three shades. I think this is a little dark, but I really love green blue duochrome. I think this goes very well with the look we have going on. So I think I want to take this shade. It's called Truth. Just taking this on my finger, and I'm putting this more in the middle of my eyelid, and then in the very inner part I want to apply the pastel green shade. Look at that. This is so stunning. Cosmic Beauty shimmers are just so gorgeous. I really love them. With just this tiny brush I wiped it off so we don't have dark pigment on it. Just going around the edges to really blend the shimmers into the matte eyeshadow. And I have to say I really love this brush. It has the perfect size and the perfect shape for me. I really enjoy it. Now with a pencil brush and the Devoted pastel green shade, I'm going into the inner corner. This shade is so stunning, and this might be one of my favorite shades in the palette. I just love a good pastel. This is almost white. This is a very light pastel. As I said, I want to put this here in the inner part of the eyelid, so it just opens up the eye a little bit. I don't like to bring in very deep shimmers completely. With that clean blending brush we just blend the pastel and the shimmer together as good as we can. In this palette there's no highlighter shimmer shade that would go with this look, so I'm just using my Kaleidos Skywalker highlighter. This is so pretty because it's blue. Look at that. Look how nice this goes with this look. I'm so in love with this look. It's just so pretty and it's so me. This is the type of look that I love. Blue is just my favorite color, as you would guess. I just love blue. For lips, I've used my Unearthly liquid lipstick in shade Diana. I love it, and I've used my MAC lip liner in Stone to just have a little bit of a deeper lip line and then this very grey lipstick in the middle, and I love it so much. For my second look, I will film tomorrow. I definitely want to use the more neutral, more pinky side, but this look made me just very, very happy, and I'm very much in love with this stunning palette. For my second look with the Lovers palette, I'm starting with this shade right here. It's called Soulmate, and I'm putting this into my outer corner. I want to really focus this on the outer part, and I don't want it to bring it too far into the crease because I want to put some of the pinks there. This is what I love about the Cosmic Beauty formulation. It's pigmented and very blendable at the same time. You just have to love it. It's perfection. It is truly perfection. This formulation is just so good. I'm taking my flat, very detailed brush to put this shade onto the lower lash line, also focusing it on the very, very outer part, and of course as always I'm really connecting it to the eyeshadow on my eyelid. Now I'm wiping off this small blending brush so we don't have a lot of excess product on it, and then I want to use it to just blend what we did on the lower lash line a little bit so we don't have any harsh lines. I really blend it together with what we did on the eyelid. It all just needs to flow together. I honestly also don't enjoy looks where you have different colors on the eyelid and on the lower lash line. I just think it looks so disconnected in most cases. Sometimes it looks very good. I just prefer to have the same colors on the lower lash line, but that's just a personal preference and choice to wear the makeup differently, and that's amazing. Next, I'm taking this shade right here. It's called Self Love, and it is this warmer, more peachy brown shade, and I use this to blend the edges of the deeper brown. I'm going to focus this shade on the very, very outer part. I don't even bring it as far in as I put the dark brown. I just want to blend out the edges of the deep brown in the very outer part because we are putting some pinks and purples in the inner part. On the lower lash line on the other side, I want to bring it in all the way. I just want to have some warmth on the lower lash line, and then also blend out the very deep shade. Blended away a lot of the deep brown, especially on the lower lash line, so I'm going back in with a little bit more just to really re-intensify it, and then blending again with the small blending brush to really, really smoke it out. And with this brush I'm also blend a little bit more on the eyelid, so we get a really nice transition between the deep brown and the light brown shade. Then I'm going to use the shade right here called Attraction, and I'm putting this right next to the deep brown. Oh, this is very light. This is a lot lighter than I would have expected. I'm blending this in, but we need to go in with the Harmony shade, the very deep purple. I can use this Attraction shade to blend the deep brown where we still need to blend, and to put it down as kind of base or transition for the purple, or the deep purple. I really thought that this would be in a little deeper. I don't know if you can see it, but where the attraction shade and the deep brown meet, it gets gray because the pink shade is so light and the brown shade is so dark that when they mix together they get this weird gray shade. So we really need to go in with the deeper purple shade to fix that. So I quickly cleaned my Cosmic Beauty brush and now I'm going into the deep purple shade called Harmony. Taking a little bit on this brush and then I just blend where the purple and the brown meet. And I bring this in a little further. This helps a lot. Again, with the brush I applied attraction without any additional product and I just want to blend the Harmony shade out. This already looks very, very good. For shimmer, I'm going to use the Fateful shade right here and I'm just putting this on my finger and I'm putting this all over the eyelid. Wow, this shade is really, really gorgeous. I'm also taking a little bit on my pinky and I'm just putting this on the lower lash line as well. Swiped off this blending brush and then I really need to blend the shimmer shade. Also in the crease, I just blend a little bit around the edges. Now I'm taking the shade Unconditional, which is this light pastel pink shade, putting it on a pencil brush and I'm taking this as my inner corner highlight. It's a very nice pastel shade. I really love the fact that Cosmic Beauty is putting really light and really deep shades in their palettes because I really can create all the looks I want with just one palette. With other brands I always have to grab like a light shade or a deep shade to finish off a look. It's just so nice that this brand is actually doing everything I want in a palette, and there are a few brands that do that, especially like Cosmic Beauty, Blend Bunny is also always having very light and very deep shades. Yeah, Nomad as well in a lot of their palettes. I just enjoy brands that do color stories in that way. It's just how I prefer. It's just the way that I prefer my eyeshadow. I don't know if I ruined my makeup with it, but I want to take the shade Faithful and I want to put it as my highlighter for today because I think this will look gorgeous with this look, because this shade doesn't have a base to it, so it's more like a topper, and I think if you apply it with a very light hand you can get an intense beautiful highlight. I already love it. Look at that. I really love the shade as a highlighter, but to blend it even better into the rest, I'm going in with my blush brush with no additional product and I just blend blush and highlighter together. So this is the finished look. I'm so in love with this palette. This is so beautiful. It's so easy to work with. The formulation is just beyond stunning. This is the same formulation that I know from the Winter Wonderland palette, which also was an amazing formulation, and this one is just as good. The shades, the mattes are so pigmented and at the same time so easy to blend. It's magic. This formulation is perfection. It is really the perfect formulation. It is. These shimmers are so foil and intense. Normally if I put on foil shimmers like this, which I love to put on a shimmer that actually is sparkly and is actually shimmering. And a lot of these very foil formulations tend to crease on me very quickly. I wore yesterday's look, the blue one, I wore for like 6-7 hours and it creased, the shimmer creased on me, but just a tiny bit. In a very, like, the creasing of the shimmer was very acceptable. And with my oily eyelids and my taste in shimmers, I know that it's just going to happen. It just happens that the eyeshadow creases on me and I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that, especially if it takes 6 hours to crease, which is an amazingly long time for me. And I'm sure that if I wanted to, I could have fixed it so it would have looked amazing for at least another 2 or 3 hours. I'm very excited to wear this look the entire day. I really love how it turned out. The combination of the brown and the purple shade. It looks so stunning. I'm so in love. The only thing, like, this is a first impression, of course I will come back to you and give you like a final review, but so far I'm very much in love, and I'm sure this will not change because I know the formula from the past palette I tried, and this is exactly the same. And the only thing I want to critique is this shade. This shimmer, I haven't swatched this palette yet, but I wanted to wear this on with this look today. I didn't, because I swatched this on the back of my hand and it has a blue base to it. It doesn't have a clear base, which I would prefer, but it has a blue base, and I think the blue base in this shimmer shade limits it with the shades and the looks you can use it for. If I have a beautiful multi-chrome like this in a palette, I want to be able to use it with every color combination in a palette, especially the browns. I think the blue in the base of this pigment, of this shadow, will clash with the warmer brown tones. I think that wouldn't be a problem if this just had a clear base. So this is the only thing I have to say. I think this will look beautiful, especially paired with this half of the palette, with the more blue and green half. I think that will look beautiful. But other than that, I really love this palette, and I really do hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know which was your favorite look. Did you enjoy the first one more, or do you enjoy this one more? I have to say I really loved the first one. I know it was quite a boring monochromatic look, but I really wanted to use the blue in the palette, and like, if you watched some of my videos, you know me, and I just love a blue eyeshadow. So I just had to use it. I just had to use it, and I was so in love with this look. Of course I love this look as well. I think it's just so beautiful. It's just a really stunning look as well, really romantic. I think this is actually a look you definitely could wear on a Valentine's date, because this is a Valentine's palette, so I think this look is stunning as well. But the blue one, it's just, if I have to choose between a blue look and a look with other colors, the blue one always wins. That's just how it is. But with that being said, I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up. If you did, it would help me out a lot, and I will hopefully see you in my next video. Bye!